All right, welcome back, kings and queens, y'all. We are still talking Allison Holker, the widow of Twitch Stephen Boss. Am I saying it right? Listen, let me tell you something about a black mama. Black mamas do not play when it comes to their children and to their children. And Stephen Twitch Boss, his mom had something to say regarding Allison's claims of substance use and really depicting her own husband in such a negative light. I think we're all scratching our heads looking at this woman, and we have to keep in mind this is the woman that he chose to death do them part. This is his spokesperson in life after death. So there's not really too much we can say because this is a lady. Allison Holker is his widow. He chose her. They were married for over 12 years. They procreated. They have beautiful children. This is the woman that he gave his heart to. However, unfortunately, in life after death, is it safe to say that she's been somewhat of a huge disappointment to his legacy? That she's been somewhat a huge disappointment to his memories and the handoff that she's going to leave the world regarding his reputation, who he was as a man, and also exposing us to some of the deepest and darkest things that may have been challenging to him from childhood all the way up into adulthood. Many people are very upset with her, including Twitch's friends and family, and they're calling it a money grab. And I just want to know, I know we covered it, but has your viewpoint changed? What are your thoughts on this entire thing? Let's talk about it. For
For
those of
those
you
of
who are
you who are
just tuned
just
in, or
tuned
if
in,
you're
or
new
if
to
you're
the
new to the
channel, welcome
channel,
to the
welcome
palace.
to the
I am
palace.
Queen
I am
Sheba.
Queen
I cover a
Sheba.
variety of
I
hot
cover a
topics
variety of
specific
hot
to
topics
reality
specific to
television.
reality television.
But most
But most
importantly,
importantly,
I
I
hone in on
hone
the
in on the
psychological and the
psychological and the
behavioral
behavioral
traits
traits
of the
of the
Black
Black
experience.
experience.
Subscribe now.
Well, Allison is being slammed in the most beautiful ways, if you ask me, not only by Twitch's family, but also his friends. And it looks like the mom has had enough. The mom came out and she issued a public statement. And I would like to share that with you. The mom says, "Our family is absolutely appalled by the misleading and hurtful claims made about my son, Stephen Boss. The recent publications spreading untruths about Stephen have crossed every line of decency. As his mother, I will not let these accusations go unanswered. We will not stand by while his name and legacy are tarnished. He does not deserve this, and the kids don't deserve this. For the last 2 years, I have remained quiet and away from the public eye to protect my family. My primary focus has been on healing and attempting to remain connected to my grandchildren. But when I read these dreadful claims about my baby, our beloved Stephen, I realized I could not stay silent any longer. Our family will ensure his name and memory are protected, and we are committed to defending his honor." And she signed it, Connie Boss Alexander. And she included 3 hashtags. Hashtag stand for Stephen, hashtag Boss Family United, hashtag SLB, hashtag LLSLB. You know what? My heart goes out to this entire family. I think this could have been handled differently. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I applaud the mother for her public statement. I think she did it in the most beautiful, sophisticated way. And Allison, I think she left you with the ounce of dignity. I think she could have snatched your soul. I think she could have snatched your entire soul. Okay? But she didn't. And I think the mother is handling this the way you could have and the way you should have. I guess I'm baffled. I don't know either one of these parties, Allison or Twitch. May his soul rest in peace. But as a wife, I can't help but to wonder, were you angry with him? Did you not like him? Is there more to the story that would cause you to smear his name and to share his deepest, darkest secrets to paint a negative depiction of him? Is there more we're not aware of? Because it seems like, and y'all share your thoughts, it seems like you're angry. And it seems like you are on the outside looking in, taking a jab at your late husband. And like the streets say, you getting your lick back. For what? He's gone. You could have done this in the most beautiful way, Allison, and you chose not to. And I can't help but to assume that this is intentional. This is intentional in the most manipulative, white privileged way. Listen, I'm sorry. I know and I believe you know exactly what you're doing. The question is why. I can't help but to assume that you got a pretty penny with your life insurance policy. What else is there? You changed your name within 48 hours of his death before he was even laid to rest. You completely disassociated yourself from his memory a year, maybe a year short of him being gone from the earth. You moved. What is it that you're not telling us? Does it even matter to y'all? Do you feel like Allison Holker has failed her husband's legacy? Do you feel like she's failing the children in this moment? Or do you feel like it's her experience and she has every right to speak her truth, even if we disagree with it? Maybe some of you are neutral and you feel like, you know what, Queen Sheba, there's no right or wrong in this. It is what it is. It's her memoir, it's her life. And do you feel like, let me ask you this, do you feel like if Allison were a Black woman, do you feel like there would be the same outrage and pushback? Should Twitch have married a Black woman and a Black woman decided to share her experiences? Do you feel like we would have been more open? Do you feel like this is a racial thing and people are just upset because of the color of her skin? That's it. That's all. I don't know, y'all. I think what really, really causes me to want to dig a little bit deeper, but I'm gonna mind my own soft girl, 92% business. I think there's been reports that Twitch may have allegedly suffered childhood abuse by way of being molested. And the fact that Allison shared her husband's secret about his childhood trauma, I think it's really upset a lot of people. It's upset a lot of people. Should she have shared it? Imma step out on faith. Imma say if he didn't share it publicly as a wife, I wish she would have held that card close to her heart. I think that would have been her way of protecting him in life after death, especially if he didn't share it publicly. It's your way of honoring the trust between a husband and a wife because if your husband told you that and nobody else knew he told you that, it's because he loved you. It's because he trusted you. And it's because he felt like he was in a safe place with you and there was no judgment. Okay. Now, to the family members, fair is fair. Mom, dad, whomever, sister, brother, cousin. Could your outrage be because you knew about the molestation or you knew about the abuse? Is this like a dirty, dark family secret that you did not want coming to the public? Is it more about your reputation and your pride than it is about Twitch? Could it be blurred lines when it comes to this? Are you embarrassed? Are you ashamed because the secret got out? Did you do anything? Were you aware that Twitch was molested as a little boy? And I think, you know what? Let me go back. I don't think Twitch told her that. I think she figured it out in his journal. But the point is, he didn't want it out. That's why I think it's very I could only imagine if he was molested as a man. I mean, I'm sorry, as a child, how that may have impacted him as a man. Okay? And the heaviness and the weight of that. You know what I mean? That has followed him all of his life. And if the alleged substance use is true, you compact all of that together. It could be a very complicated living experience for him as a man, number one. Number two, as a Black man. Okay. Which is why I wholeheartedly disagree with anyone talking about anybody's experience as a child without their permission. I think it's gross. I think it's negligent, and I think it's a bit mean. Mean. I think it's a bit mean spirited. Um, Allison, I think you've been a huge disappointment in this moment because it is looking like a money grab. Okay. It is looking like a money grab. I think as a wife, you could have done that completely different and still had a platform and the visibility to share your experience. I don't think she, I think there's a huge disconnect. I don't think this woman gives one damn about this man and probably hasn't for a long time coming prior to his death. It's sad. Remember, that was his wife. So there's really nothing else for me to say with the exception of providing an update that the mother has spoken. That's it. That's all. Let's take it to the chat. What are your thoughts?
Are all people that I've grown up with. And to see them now act different for social media, it's like, I don't know. And I'm trying to be respectful, but I just think it's complicated because I speak to Steven's moms. Like my mom and her were speaking weekly at some point. And I don't know if it's still like that. Like me and my mom haven't talked about it. But since Steven died, I feel like I've seen his family more than when he was alive. We would only see them once or twice a year, but you guys have to understand that it's because they live in another state. Like, and things happen. Like we literally live in another state, and it's not like we're neighbors. It's not like we could just see them whenever we wanted. And now, like, my mom's constantly making the effort so that the kids are a part of, or not the kids are a part of their, wait, I was about to mess up my words. So the kids are a part of their lives. And my mom's, these are all people that I've grown up with. And to see them now act different for social media, it's like, I don't know. And I'm trying to be respectful, but I just think it's complicated because I speak to Steven's moms. Like my mom and her were speaking weekly at some point. And I don't know if it's still like that. Like me and my mom haven't talked about it. But since Steven died, I feel like I've seen his family more than when he was alive. We would only see them once or twice a year, but you guys have to understand that it's because they live in another state. Like, and things happen. Like we literally live in another state, and it's not like we're neighbors. It's not like we could just see them whenever we wanted. And now, like, my mom's constantly making the effort so that the kids are a part of, or not the kids are a part of their, wait, I was about to mess up my words. So the kids are a part of their lives. And my mom's, these are all effort. I don't make the effort, but that's just how I am. I feel disrespected by them, so I'm not going to talk to them. Like there were points where like the brothers would reach out to me, like my uncles and Connie, they'd be texting me, but I don't talk to them anymore. I feel completely disrespected. They've gone on social media saying that blood's thicker than whatever, and that's a direct dig at me and my mom. And if you don't see me as Steven's daughter, that's cool. That's like, take it how you want. That I know for a fact that's never how he saw it, and it's literally just hurtful. Effort. I don't make the effort, but y'all love to argue about the NDAs. Basically, not backstory because like that's what the whole story is. But in one day, we had an open casket like viewing for Steven. We had a funeral, and then we had a wake. And my mom asked for NDAs to be signed when we were seeing Steven's body, because God forbid somebody that went to that took a photo of Steven and put it on the internet, or, you know, shared it with somebody else. That's the type of things that NDAs are for. It's not so you can never talk about Steven. You can't ever talk about, you know, you grieving him. You can't post about it. That's not what it is. And for all the people saying it, I just feel like you're uneducated. I'm sorry, but like truly, I'm fed up because NDAs are so important. And if you guys don't agree, that's cool. I'm grateful for my mom making sure that everybody signed NDAs. Y'all love that whole day was supposed to be beautiful, and instead it was less than that. Like we were gonna say our goodbyes, and instead people were yelling at each other and bashing my mom, and like that's a day that's taken away from her, and she can't remember it as being the day that we all wanted it to be because his family was making it otherwise. And like when I say that this day, like it's imprinted onto my brain. Like one, because I had to say goodbye to the person that I loved and valued, but then on top of that, I'm having to deal with seeing my mom go through so much. Like it's a different type of hurt because these are people that we're supposed to love and value, and yet they're constantly doing things that make me see them as like less. Like they're the ones impacting that image, and but they're also the ones taking onto social media. So I just don't get it because that whole, I don't know where it started, but I'm constantly getting comments being like, your mom didn't let Connie see the body for 3 weeks and something like that. But it's like everybody who wanted to see the body had access to that information. My mom didn't want to. My mom, she stayed out of that. My mom didn't want anything to do because that's a traumatizing thing. And so somebody else had that information to go and see Steven's body from after he died until he was like, like they fixed up how he looked and stuff. But until that point, I remember like conversations being had of like Connie asking about it, but then everybody, literally everybody, being like advising against it because that's your son. You might not want to go see him. But with that all being said, she could have completely on her own terms gone and seen him. My mom wasn't withholding information. I don't know where it started, but I'm constantly getting. My mom never said that Steven was an addict. Let me say that. Never said that he was an addict. But if y'all want to take a headline for a news article and turn that into being the thing that you're paying attention to most, that's literally on you, right? But in our house, how he ran things, like I'm his kid. He was trying to like teach me and educate, like obviously like be that fatherly role, right? So he'd be open and vulnerable about him smoking weed. Also, my mom's not calling him a terrible person for smoking weed. Like, guys, let's get it together. But when you have 2 years after somebody committed suicide to sit here and question every interaction you had, every single thing they did, obviously my mom's like, maybe I should have paid more attention to my